What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? How big would you play if you knew that you could survive any heartbreak, any breakdown, any betrayal? What would you do if the things that you were afraid of you knew were absolutely nothing? They were all opportunities for you to get stronger in your faith, stronger in your resiliency. What would you do?
I promise you, you are turning into a warrior. Because the stuff that you're going through, the stuff that you have to experience, what don't kill you makes you stronger.
The difference between you and the person living their dreams that you're watching is simply the amount of action.
Admit that you can have anything you want, but it's going to be hard work. And you are the only reason that you ain't where you want to be. Admit it. Take responsibility and accept it.
Find out what it is you want and go after it as if your life depends on it.
You gotta let your dream destroy you. You gotta give everything you got. No excuses.
This is your opportunity to blow up.
If you really want your dream bad enough, if you really want to go where you say you want to go, if you really want to do what you say you want to do, you have to let your dream destroy you. You have to let your dream break you down. You have to give everything you got to get what you want. You have to give everything you don't even realize you have to get where you're trying to go. Don't you get it? When you do what they want, you will have what they don't. When you do what they refuse, they won't have the options that you get to choose.
So let the dream destroy you, tear you down, redefine you, build you back up, make you stronger.
On the other side of temporary pain, you get introduced to your other self. We think everything's permanent. And because we think it's permanent, we make permanent decisions based on temporary conditions.
I'm super proud of where so many of you are right now. But I don't let anybody settle. I don't want us to become complacent. Man, I want you to engage with you. I want you to start confronting you.
It's up to you to assemble yourself. You have to work on you.
What we do is we shackle our mind. We are a prisoner in our own mind that this is all I can do. This is all I'm good at.
We really do believe it's further away. Like, we honestly believe this thing is like a 20-year thing. And so because we believe that, we keep it there and we miss out on these, possibilities in our life.
You have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life, by facing yourself.
Most people go through life quietly and safely, tiptoeing to an early grave. Find out what it is you want and go after it as if your life depends on it.
You need to create a different relationship with pain in your life.
The foundation of all strength is pain.
There's always going to be storms on the horizon, but you've got to have the strength, the out-and-out arrogance to just keep getting up and keep carrying on.
It's doing. That's how you get great at your craft.
And so if you're not willing to be a fool, then you'll never start anything new. And if you never start anything new, then you won't develop. And so the willingness to be a fool is the precursor to transformation. And that's the same as humility. And so if you're going to write your destiny, you can do a bad first job. You're going to get smarter as you move forward.
I promise you, you are turning into a warrior. Because the stuff that you're going through, the stuff that you have to experience, what don't kill you makes you stronger.
Like, I want you to understand, like, I don't know your story. I don't know the depths of what some of you have had to deal with. But I'm here to tell you, man, you can do hard things. And as long as there's breath in your lungs, there's hope in your heart too.
But what you cannot do is you cannot quit doing the process. Stop sitting around moping and complaining and waiting for somebody to connect the dots for you. Put the work in and take the stairs to the top.
To get that good is a terrifying journey of self-discovery and confronting who you really are. Because you cannot make change until you acknowledge where you're actually at.
Nothing is easy. Anything worth having is hard to get. Admit that you can have anything you want, but it's going to be hard work. Admit that you are the only reason that you are where you are. And you are the only reason that you ain't where you want to be. Admit it. Take responsibility and accept it. Get off your ass and get to work.
If you're suffering terribly, there's two options in front of you in some sense. One is you're suffering terribly and it's unjust, and you're suffering terribly because the cosmos itself. The other possibility is you're suffering at least in part because you're not everything you could be.
Most of us, we live in a box, and we don't want to go outside that box at all, ever. Outside that box is all these possibilities of life. I now know that there is no cap on the human mind. There's no cap. We cap it ourselves.
And there is a literature too that suggests that people are a lot more unhappy when they look back in their lives about the things they didn't do than they are about the mistakes they made while they were doing things. And so that's really worth thinking about too, because there's redemptive mistakes. And a redemptive mistake would be a mistake that you make when you go out and try to do something. You know, you think, okay, I'm going to try to do this. And you're not good at it. You make a bunch of mistakes. It's like, what's the consequence if you pay attention? You're not quite so stupid anymore. That's the thing, is you've been informed by the results of your errors. Take some stumbling steps towards it. And as you take stumbling steps towards it, you become illuminated and enlightened and informed because of the nature of your experience, because you're pushing yourself beyond where you are, and you're going into the country that you have not yet been in, and you learn something. And so if you stand still, you fall backwards. You cannot stand still, because the world moves away from you if you stand still. And there's no stasis, there's only backwards. And so if you're not moving forwards, then you're moving backwards. And that's more of the underlying truth of the Matthew principle. To those who have everything, more will be given. From those who have nothing, everything will be taken.
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you can make sacrifices when Monday Night Football is not on. You can make a sacrifice. But when the game come on, for some reason, you just attached to it. You can make sacrifices on Sunday when ain't nothing going on. But when your favorite show comes on Monday, bam, some of you focus until the phone ring, and then you're like, I gotta answer it. If I don't answer the phone, I'm gonna die. I'm saying to you today that there are some of you, if you give up your cell phone, you will be successful. But your cell phone is more important to you than your success. You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. If you have a 4.0, what you need to be doing is studying. Get off the phone. I'm sorry, I'm not available until the end of this year. No, I'm for real. You reached the right number, but you called me at the wrong time. Call me back January 1st. I'm about to get busy now. Every time you ever got in trouble, somebody in your house got you out of it. Every time you've done something you're not supposed to do, people say, Eric, your mother's a tyrant. You're right. She kicked me out. You're right. She's mean, but she developed a man because she put me out there and said, you're going to have to grow up. And some of you have never learned to grow up. And so every time something get hard, you quit, you call mama. I dare you to take a little pain. I dare you. I dare you not to go home. Somebody said, I don't go home, I feel bad. Go through it. You ain't gonna die. At the end of pain is success. You're not gonna die because you feeling a little pain.
So let this be the time that you lift yourself back up. You've did it over and over again. Why stop now? You're too close. Success is right around the corner. And even if it takes a little bit longer to get there, it's okay. It's coming.
I gotta commit my very being to this thing. I gotta breathe it, I gotta eat it, I gotta sleep it. And until you get there, you'll never be successful in life. But once you get there, I guarantee you, the world is yours.
You already know sometimes you gotta disappear for 3 months. Sometimes you gotta disappear for 6 months. Sometimes you gotta disappear for 9 months. Sometimes you gotta disappear for a whole year, 2 years, and then emerge. The new you, the new and improved you, on an entirely different level. See, your dream is like a muscle, and sometimes you gotta let that muscle get broke down. The greats, They don't even start counting the reps until it hurts, because they understand that pain is what's going to lead to that future gain. So from this day forward, excuses are for the weak. So starting right now, not tomorrow, not next week, I need you to vow to keep going.
It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money, when all your energy gone, when you have nothing left, that's when it's showtime. When you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way. Listen to me very closely. You got to change that mindset.
And uncertainties. When I saw it the wrong way, I would be afraid to face it. But when I realized, if I will face it, if I will not be afraid of being vulnerable and being transparent and using words like anxiety and depression as not a negative place. And I know we don't get excited about the thought process, but just hear me out. What if you flipped it on its head? What if you began to realize that the perspective of those spaces and those emotions and those places could be the very tool that helps you find your why, helps you find your purpose? For 13 years now, I've overcame some of these crippling emotions because I found the courage to do one thing, and it was to begin to look and put things on the wall, and to look on mirrors, and to look on places and spaces, and to begin to put goals on my life, to begin to say, for me it was change the world. For me, it was beginning to understand that I don't know what it looks like. I don't always know what it means. But every single day, will I stop? Will I stop? Will I stop believing that I can't, even though I don't fully understand? And will I begin to believe that I can do hard things? I can step into uncomfortable. It may not be perfect, but every single day, can I find a small win? Every single day, can I just do the next thing? Too often we think of the big picture. We think of the details, and every detail has to be perfect. Or maybe it's just moving in the direction. Maybe it's just knowing that you can wake up and you can get out of bed and that you can brush your teeth and that you can do what you need to do to get to that first class and just continue to have small wins. See, this is where we begin to take the deep impression, the depression, the anxiety, the paralyzing thoughts, and begin to take it one step at a time. One small choice to two small choices, one small win to two small wins. And when you begin to become consistent and just do the next thing, you can think your life is meaningless, or you can think that every choice I make has a ripple effect. Why? Because you have a purpose. You're unique. You're scarce. You're rare. Science proves that you're a one of one. You, right now, you're a one of one. See, your fingertips, your fingerprints, anything that I touch can always be identified as me. And anything that you touch can always be identified as you. There is no other you. And if you're a one of one, that means you're rare, you're scarce, and you're unique. The world puts amazing value on things that are rare, scarce, and unique.
If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, and you're 30, that's just fine. But I don't want to have to blame you for not exposing yourself to what you can be when you grow up. If you're sitting home watching football and say, I don't know what I want to do with my life, why don't you do what my parents did? Visit a new thing every weekend. Go on a trip. Talk to experts in all manner of tasks. And, visit a chef school. Visit a geology expedition. Just do things. And if you like it, you'll probably be better at that than anything else you choose to do. Because you will invest even your downtime doing it. And as the saying goes, pick something you would do for free and make that your career, and you'll never live a sad day in your life.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, He was let go from that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
Joy is the feeling that we have from doing what we are fashioned to do, no matter the outcome. I started enjoying my work and literally being more happy when I stopped trying to make the daily labor a means to a certain end. For example, I need this film to be a box office success. I need my performance to be acknowledged. I need the respect of my peers. All those are reasonable aspirations, but the truth is, as soon as the work, the daily making of the movie, the doing of the deed became the reward in itself for me, I got more box office, more accolades and respect than I ever had before. See, joy is always in process. It's under construction. It is in constant approach, alive and well in the doing of what we're fashioned to do and enjoying.
Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference.
You will at some point fall. And when you do, I want you to know this, remember this, there is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. Now, when you're down there in the hole, it looks like failure. And when you're down in the hole, when that moment comes, it's really okay to feel bad for a little while. Give yourself time to mourn what you think you may have lost. But then, here's the key. Learn from every mistake.
Almost any path you take will make you wiser as a person. It's not just knowledge. What is the arc? There's data. Data can become information. Information, on further study, becomes knowledge. And after enough time, when you see how the knowledge plugs in and applies, it can become wisdom. Wisdom is the distilled essence of all the details. Listen to people's comments. People have life experience. Don't ignore it. But what you want to do is fold it into your own sensibilities.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important.
Life's not fair, it never was, it isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
And when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. I'm just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way.
Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important.
I want you to remember this. You are not defined by the setbacks. You are not defined by your mishaps. You are not defined by your failures. Unless you quit. Unless you give up. But see, giving up is not part of your anatomy. Giving up is not in your DNA. Giving up is not who you are. And thus, whenever you face adversity, whenever that fear creeps into your mental, whenever you start to doubt yourself, you will immediately shut down those negative thoughts, shut down those negative voices, and rise up and pick yourself up.
And once I understand that tomorrow is not promised, that clock that is ticking, I'm taking it so gravely serious now. What I deemed was underrated, how I so grossly underestimated time, the gift of another day. I need you to stop pushing certain goals off and aims and targets and relationships and doors you need to walk through and tables you need to sit at. Stop pushing it off to tomorrow because tomorrow is not promised.
Stop making excuses. Well, I'm going to get to it later. You know what I'm saying? Not right now. I'll get to it when I can. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. That's why you ain't gonna never be, you ain't gonna never have, you ain't gonna never reach your full potential because you always putting it off. And I told you before, there's some opportunities that are available today that are not available tomorrow. That there was a window, there was a sale today, and you could have got that jacket for $50. Now you gotta pay $250 for it. Why? Because you didn't get it when it was on sale.
Yes, you can. Yes, you will graduate. Yes, you can. Yes, you will elevate. Yes, you can. Yes, you will dominate. And arrive at your desired destination of next level greatness.
Don't look in the mirror. If you don't have what you want to have, other than going to work with an attitude or not taking advantage of the stuff that's in front of you, I implore you 3 things. 1, do what you can. If you're in school, go to class every day. Do what you can. When you can. Because there's a window of opportunity.
I don't know what your goal is. For many of you, it's to stop drinking or stop smoking or stop partying every day. Just being addicted to toxicities. Some of you are involved in toxic relationships and you are just flat out tired of where you are. And you know you need to break up. You know if you don't, you're going to spiral into a very dark place. And I just want to encourage you to start now, little by little. Make the decisions that are required to fulfill your destiny.
Celebrate the small wins along the way. And that's exactly how you keep yourself focused. That's exactly how you keep yourself going. That's exactly how you stay fueled up. We're not looking at the ultimate outcome, even though you know what it is. You're taking it one step at a time, celebrating along the way.
All that hunger, and you got to put it toward that goal. A dream